Good morning and welcome to a very cold woodland. It's around freezing and my hands are really feeling it. Bit of an unusual one today. Snugpak bunker tent. Now, unusual because it hasn't been sent to me by Snugpak to review or anything like that. It's not even mine. It belongs to a friend of mine, Kirk, and he got it recently and wasn't going to be using it immediately, and he said, would I like to take a look? Would I like to, give him an opinion? So he posted it down to me. I've done no research whatsoever. All I've seen is a picture of one. I've never seen one in real life. I know they're a dome sort of tent, as far as I'm aware, if I've looked at the right one. I believe they're 3-man. We'll see how generous that is when we put it up. Never had it out of the packet personally, so I don't know what I'm going to find or how easy it's going to be. So I'll stick it up and we'll have a look over it. Right, let's see what's in the packet. Stuff sack looks good. I like the idea that they've put the tensioning straps on there. Some instructions. That might be handy, seeing as I've never seen one. Crammed in here. I bloody hope everything is in here that I need. As I say, I didn't take it out of the packet, so I haven't checked it. So, what's this in here? Oh, a little repair kit with bits in. Okay, that's good. Oh yeah, pegs, poles. We should be good to go. Right, now it looks like when he's had it up, he's left the inner attached to the outer, which is exactly what I would do, to be perfectly honest. It can be a bit of a faff hooking them up afterwards. Obviously I don't know this, I've never tried it, but yeah, so it's all in one bit. Sort the poles out, get the thing up. Right, 3 poles, and they're aluminium, they're not fiberglass. One with a green end. 2 black ones, look identical. This one, same fittings, everything else. It's a fraction shorter. The reason no doubt will become apparent when I put it together. We'll have a look at the tent. Normally the sleeves that you poke them through, if you've got something like this, the sleeves are colour coded. Check that out before we go too far. Yep, here we go on the sleeves. This one's all black, and this one has got a little bit of green edging. So I'm assuming that's for the green ended pole. Okay, yeah, I could work it out, but it's not that obvious, is it? Just that tiny little bit. Can you imagine putting this up in the dark? That might be a bit more of a challenge. It's a shame they didn't sort of indicate it a bit stronger somehow. But okay, I suppose once you've done it a few times, it becomes sort of like second nature. But yeah, I had to search for that a little bit. I was wondering if the the whole sleeve would be green, but no, all the sleeves are black. It's just that tiny bit of trim. Okay, not that's a problem. Not the easiest of things to get the poles through. Maybe I'm doing it in the wrong order. Maybe I should have looked at the instructions. Well, it's up. Not the easiest of things to put the poles through the sleeves. I think it's because of the nature of the curve. The tighter it gets, you know, the less the pole wants to go round the corner, shall we say. But yeah, we got there in the end. Again, never done this one before, so with practice there might be a technique or a, you know, particular order to do the poles and things like that. But I'm just trying to wing it without sort of looking at instructions and things, because I think that's quite a good guide to how simple it'll be to do it in the dark or do it in bad weather. You know, you want to just be able to sort of grab it and get on with it quick. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure that's going to be free man inside, but let's have a look around the outside first. Right, first thing, it's got a couple of air vents. These ones that are meant to sort of like pop open. In my experience, they never do, this design. I end up with putting a small stick between the Velcro pad there and the outside, you know, to hold it up. But they're a decent sized vent. I think there's one on each side. It's always best to have two opposite sides to get the, you know, the airflow through it. Looks like that one. Yep, that one would need something doing with it. They've got a guy rope on here, so you can peg it out, which is always a good idea. All the stitching looks quite good. It's a good amount of reinforcing in the corners and that sort of thing. Looks like the fabric is almost like a ripstop. You can see the little squares in it. It looks quite strong. Plenty of going out points on it if the weather was bad. You can see he's never used them as of yet. They're still in the little packets. See them all over the place. A couple of extra loops there. I don't know whether the pole should be through that, maybe, or whether it's just another going out point. Who knows? The instructions, I had a quick look at them. They weren't that clear, to be honest. I only had a look at the instructions just to see if I was doing something silly with the poles, but they didn't mention it, or didn't mention an order to put them in. Yeah, okay. It's different, I'll give you that. Let's have a look inside. Right, before we dive right inside, open the outer, unzip the inner door, and I don't know whether you can see it or not. I've got the light on the camera, but it's really weird filming in these conditions. Under the mesh, there's another zip here. So this door is like a double thickness, for want of a better description. It's mesh on the outside and material on the inside. So two things spring to mind. One, obviously winter time, that help hold heat in. But two, it will work a bit like a blackout curtain as well. So it would help on them really bright sunny mornings. But if it was bright, hot and sunny, would you want it zipped up and keeping the heat in? I don't know. But it's an option. I like that they've thought to do it. Right, let me get my boots off and then climb inside. Right, the first observation. The door is actually quite small. Let's face it, all tents that are less than a metre high. It's impossible to have a big door, isn't it? But you do sort of crawl in on your hands and knees. It's down to whether that bothers you, doesn't it, really? Once you're in, I'm sitting up in the centre. So I've got room to sit up. It's sort of like a hexagonal shape inside. There's the other door. So you've got two doors. Nice job to see in this light. But big mesh section here, dead opposite the air vent that's on the outside. And yep, same round the opposite end. That's even bigger, the mesh that side by the look of it. It's not quite pulled out flat because in each of these reinforced corners there's a strap that goes to the outer, to the pole, with a clip to tension it. And I've clipped them all up, apart from that one, because there's buckles missing off it. I'll have a look in the bag in a minute. If not, there might be one in that spares pack, and I'll fit it on. But as you can see, the other corners are pulled out quite well. It's just that one. The ground sheet seems reasonably thick. I believe it's 5,000 hydrostatic head for the ground and for the cover. So as long as all the seams and that are okay, you shouldn't get wet. I'm assuming this is sold as a 4-season tent, and I don't see why you couldn't use it in the winter. But the size of it, 3 man, they'd have to be pretty bloody small. That's all I'm saying. Let me lay down in there and have a bit of a measure. You see what I mean about the size of the door? I mean, this is with me squatting down, and the outer bit's here. The inner's even slightly lower, and also being sort of triangular shape. It's a bit like using a cat flap. You've got to dive in. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's not like you're going to be in and out, in and out, in and out. If you're just putting it up and it's somewhere to sleep, it'll be fine. No sort of low profile tent has a big door, but if they're square doors, or even like 2 triangular doors that you can roll them both back to make a decent sized opening, at least you can sort of like launch yourself in sideways. This is pretty small. It's probably amongst the smallest tent doors that I've seen. And the other thing, of course, if there was 3 men sleeping in there, it's a good job it's got 2 doors, because if the one on the far side wanted to get out in the night for a pee, he'd have to climb over his mates and get out of here as well. Drawback of the design, I suppose. You can't have a low, stealthy sort of shelter with a massive access. It's just what it is. I've found the missing clip. It was just slid all the way in and I couldn't see it. So basically that's how they go in, and it, you know, allows you to tension the inner floor to the outer section. Right, well, that's got him back in the packet. It was a bit of a fight, but to be honest, I didn't do anything fancy. I just like rolled it up. I took my time a little bit more. I'm sure it would go in there a bit easier. But yeah, I mean, mixed feelings at this point. So I'm gonna have this coffee and get out of here, because it looks like it's gonna either rain or try and snow again. It is still pretty bloody cold. I'll get back indoors, and I'll weigh it and measure it and do things like that. I won't do any more filming. I'll put it up on the screen at this point. But yeah, overall very interesting, worth coming out this morning, even though it's bloody cold. And it just sort of gives me a clue, a bit of a heads up on what I'm going to have to do and how much space I'm going to need when I camp in it next time out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh, that's better. Put the bloody gloves back on in a minute as well. Cheers, guys.